Hello friends, my name is Prakriti Gurung from Grade VIII, and today I'm going to be explaining the topic, why kids need more education. So this topic has around 5 points, which I'm going to elaborate it all on. But before I start, I just want to clear that I know and I'm aware that I'm also a kid, and some points that I'm saying right now might not be taken that nicely from other people, or people might not agree with me. Okay, so point number 1 on why kids need to be more educated. So number 1 is racial slurs. I see a lot of people which are juniors or seniors saying the N-word a lot, which is a racial slur, and we're not allowed to say the racial slurs by the whole world, not only teachers or people higher than you. It is and the N-word is a word which is not supposed to be said by other people except for people of color. And basically, I just see a lot of people saying the N-word and they're not educated about it. And the thing is that we need more people to educate kids about the N-word and other slurs and stuff like that. So what I'm trying to say is that we should imply getting teachers or basically just seniors or people like that, maybe even juniors, to educate people about slurs and stuff like that, because these type of stuff are getting very out of hand, because we're not allowed to say the N-word, right? And we're not allowed to say the F-word also, and it's really bad words. So you should not say any of slurs which is not supposed to be said. Okay, number 2 are opinions. I see a lot of kids not agreeing to opinions, but then just bashing someone for not having an opinion, right? For example, they're do you need to have a right opinion, and a wrong opinion it does not exist. There's no such thing as wrong opinion, because everyone has their own opinion, and there's no such thing as incorrect or correct opinions. So that just doesn't make any sense. I'm not saying to not fight about opinions. Don't fight, just have arguments, because fighting is not good. But what I see is for example, when someone takes the LGBTQ community and talks about them, one person may say I don't support them, but I respect them, and the other person will just start plain bashing them for just not supporting the LGBTQ community. And that is a very, very bad thing to do, because people have their own thoughts and people have feelings which they can't control, and that might hurt someone very badly. Okay, so number 3 is unhealthy habits. Now, unhealthy habits, there are many forms that come in unhealthy habits. There are many forms of it. For example, you can it can be swearing too much, or using too much internet, or just talking bad about other people, or talking bad to other people, screaming, shouting, drugs, drinking, or consuming unnecessary substances, which is not good for you. But basically, unhealthy habits all start in a point in a life, in a point in the life of someone very young. For example, if you watch my last video of adolescence, you can definitely know what adolescent is, right? An adolescent is someone who's in the middle, or the age of 10 to 12. No, not 10 to 12. 10 to 19, sorry. And they're still growing, and they're still going through the stages of puberty, which is a very, very vulnerable time for people to get influenced. So unhealthy habits can develop from lots of stuff, and influencing, it can be developed by influencing and stuff like that, which is not good. So number 4 is behavior issues. When someone is in the stages of adolescence, we can really see different changes in them. For example, with puberty, they can change in behavior or style, and most teenagers or adults or even children have different phases in their life. For example, people have phases of their style. For example, someone can go, coquette, and then they can also go grunge or gothic and stuff like that within just a few months, just like that, just to fit in with trends and stuff like that. And I mean, that's okay, because that's a way of expressing themselves. But sometimes teenagers develop behavior issues. For example, anger issues, and getting mad over anything, and getting really sensitive and sad. Being sensitive is okay, but overly sensitive is a bit too much. But I mean, you do you. And lastly, number 5, aka the last point, is influence. Now, all of these bad habits can also form from influences. And what I mean by influence is bad influence. For example, you need to be around better people, or you need to like surround yourself in a better environment with like better stuff to watch, better stuff to do, and stuff like that. So basically, someone can easily just change in like overnight or in just a few months, not years though, because of someone else's influence. For example, if you have watched the movie 13, which is in 2003, and the main character is Tracy Baker, and she is 13 years old, and she meets a person named Evie. I forgot her last name, but it's okay. So basically, Evie and Tracy are become best friends, and then Evie involves her in really bad stuff and damages Tracy's whole life. And it's actually based on a real story. So I would not recommend having like friends or like watching stuff on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, whatever social media there is, which can influence you in a bad way to like start drugs, to like be involved in like criminal activities and stuff like that. So this is the end, and before I end this, I just want to say, if you know anyone who's like struggling with these type of stuff, or like who's going through a phase where they're like struggling very badly, I think you should just help them out instead of just judging them and just leaving them alone, because you never know what someone's going through. Thank you.